Today I'm back with lasagna. We're gonna make. I usually do pork lasagna. I usually do beef lasagna. We're doing pork. Now, if you've seen any of my other cooking video, you will know this won't be edited. So have fun laughing at my glitching. So I'm just going to prep 3 onions. I've got 2 bowls here to sort my onion into. Slightly chunkier onion will be used in the pork mince, so the lasagna sauce itself, and the rest will be in the white sauce. I do cheesy white sauce for my lasagna, so my little scrap container, got onion everywhere, but we're alright. So I'm just going to start by roughly dicing the onion for the mince. It's not a big deal if it's not perfect. I am just doing 1 large onion for this. I can't get hold of it. And I'm just going to pop that into a bowl. I noticed we seem to be enjoying my videos of Bailey a little more than my cooking videos, which honestly, so fair. I get so awkward talking on camera, so I completely understand that we're enjoying Bailey a little bit more, which is fine, because I'm not sure how I feel about making cooking videos yet. So, but yeah, pork lasagna for dinner tonight, just because I've got garlic bread in the fridge that needs to be eaten, and partner wants garlic bread and lasagna. So, where are you? What are you doing? He's gone to lay in the bedroom while I am cooking, which is so fine. For the smaller onions that I'm using for the white sauce, they are going to be a lot smaller and a lot more precise, just because I don't think I know anyone that likes chunky onion in the actual sauce itself, except me. But very big difference in the onion and the way it's diced. Not sponsored, but shout out to Robin's Kitchen. These knives are amazing. Hard not to chop my fingers off with them, but they're really good. I was going to do 3 onions, but that's the large onion for the mince, that's the little onion for the white sauce. I think that's better. So I'm not going to do anything else with those at this point. But what I will do is make the stock. No, what I will do first is get my mince in the frying pan. I'm just doing 2 packets. They're 500 grams each of lean pork mince. When I can open them. These aren't fully defrosted yet, so they will take a little while, I guess. Probably a little longer than I'd like, but that is too fine, because what I'll do, the best way I've found to defrost mince a little faster when it's just not happening is to just chop a little bit of water in the frying pan, turn it way up as high as it goes, and put the lid on it. We steam defrost those. That'll happen pretty fast. Whilst that's defrosting, I'm going to arrange a few other things, such as my stock. Now, the stock is literally just some water, a stock cube, some garlic, oregano, salt, pepper, sugar, and just a few other things that I pop in with the mince after it's cooked when I put in the onion to saute. Just something I come up with on my own just to add that extra little bit of flavour. Just my favourite way of adding kind of all the extra ingredients that are just going to make it taste way better. So I've just got a beef stock cube. I'm just going to crumble that up into the water without throwing it all over the bench. These are really fresh, so they are crumbling super easy. And I'm just going to give my hands a quick rinse. Now I want about half a teaspoon of sugar. My recipe says 2 teaspoons of garlic. And just splash garlic all over myself. I'm going to give that a little... I'm splashing it everywhere. I am 100% making a mess, but oh well. That's kind of what happens when you're in the kitchen, I guess. And then, just to this as well, I'm going to add some onion powder and garlic powder. That one's the garlic powder. Some onion powder. Some oregano. We'll just pop the top off this one. It smells terrible. And a little salt and pepper. I don't usually add too much pepper, just because it kind of does do its job. And just a healthy sprinkle of salt. So when I break up the mince and I chuck the onion in, it's sauteed, this hefty little cup of stock will go in there, and it will be my best friend today. Just clearing some of this other stuff out of the way so I can safely pull my frying pan forward to give the mince a stir. And if we have, it is not quite completely defrosted, but definitely cooking really quickly, which is also fine. And it just helps it break up a little faster. So, definitely my favourite little kitchen hack. Comment down below some of your favourite lasagna hacks, actually, because I'd like to, and let me know. I will maybe tag my recipe in the comments, just because I haven't really shared my recipe with anyone. This is my own personal recipe. I made lasagna just off the top of my head one day, and actually it was the best lasagna I'd ever eaten, so I kind of just put my own little recipe together. She turned out really good. So, that's, while that's simmering away back there, I'm going to grab some plain flour. One thing I didn't get out was plain flour. And to a pot, I'm going to also grab the butter. So for the white sauce, sorry, kind of distracted. I'm just going to grab a hefty amount of butter. And just plonk that right in there. Help if I turn my stove on, wouldn't it? And we're just going to start melting the butter down. I'm going to add a little bit more, just because I'm making a kind of big batch today. Now, my recipe says 5 tablespoons. I always do extra, just because I like having a ton of white sauce. So I am kind of just going eyeballing it. And don't forget to clean up as you go. Moving things out of the way and kind of having a space to work with is so important. Especially because I've now put my stove on, I've got to move this one over here. So you can see that. Now that should be completely defrosted. Just going to move that one out of the way. Might even move that one over and use a different hot plate for that. So now that this still not completely defrosted, but that's fine, I'm going to put the exhaust fan on because they're steamy. So I'm going to let this finish cooking, breaking down, and a lot of your water will evaporate from this as well. It was only a little splash, but there is a little tiny bit of oil in here too with the mince. But I'm just going to let that cook and break down while I do the white sauce. So I've just got my biggest pot here and I'm melting down my butter. For this step, a whisk is absolutely the best thing you'll ever see. It is not optional in this step, I'm sorry. So I'm just going to continue my butter melting. I'm going to start stirring it up with the whisk. And that's not enough butter. This one's empty. So I'm just going to grab the other butter out of the fridge. That's one thing you've got to make sure you've got plenty of when you're going to do lasagna is butter. Butter, milk, cheese. I feel like there's so much stuff I use in lasagna that I don't really use in any other recipe, which is interesting because I cook every day. I feel like the stuff I use in this I don't use at all, ever, otherwise. So definitely some things you've got to keep in mind when you're making lasagna. Make sure you get stuff in your cupboard, especially for this recipe because it calls for so many ingredients. So now that my butter's melted, I'm just going to let that sit and warm up for a minute. And I'm going to give the mince another stir, break it up a little bit more. And then on the side, I'm just going to grab my plain flour. And I'm going to start with probably a few tablespoons. I'm just going to put in 3 to start with. And you get that whisking. Because the last thing you want is for that to go clumpy. I'm going to take it off the heat, turn the heat off, and just kind of sit it next to the hot plate a little. put in another one. And a little bit more. And as it thickens, you get like a buttery, floury paste. It's exactly what you're looking for. And we need it a little thicker still. I'm going to go one more. The recipe says 5 tablespoons of butter and 3/4 of a cup of flour. So it's kind of, I'm definitely eyeballing it because I'm lazy. And I don't want to do all the extra dishes that come with measuring it. So I'm going to go just a little bit more, maybe another kind of half a tablespoon or so. And it starts to form like a bit of a, not clumpy, but almost a dough. Now I'm just going to let that rest for a moment and give this another stir. The mince is definitely cooked, or mostly, so I'm going to chuck in my onion and let that cook down for a moment. And with this, we're going to start adding milk. And I will grab out a measuring cup for you guys. I'm just going to use a cup because I don't know where my measuring cups are. And it's easy to pour from a cup straight to the pan versus a bottle. So I'm just going to start with 1 cup, add a little, and stir. I get about half a cup in there already. Whisk is flimsy. And once the milk starts to go in, it will form like a thicker, as the flour thickens the milk. So I'm just going to dump that other half a cup in there. Give this a quick stir. That's still just kind of cooking on the onions cooking beside the mince, not mixed yet. And because I don't have this on the heat, it's not urgent that I continue to stir it consistently, but if you do not have a second set of hands, I definitely recommend taking it off the heat. If you've got a second set of hands in your kitchen, which I usually do for lasagna, I just leave the heat on and keep stirring it. But you can see now it's starting to form a saucy consistency. Now, because I will add cheese later on, I am going to continue to make it thinner by adding another cup of milk. I just put that everywhere. So I'm just going to add that in and keep whisking that until we get that nice thin and smooth. Importantly, it's got to be smoother. And now we've got a nice smooth white sauce consistency. I will step back on the hot plate while I fix this up. Now I'm going to add my stock to my mince and onion. And I'm going to let that saute in the stock on low for a minute or two. Just until I finish off the sauce. And that'll thicken up again. Now, the sauce is coming along really well, really quickly, which is nice. I'm just going to turn the heat back up on that one. Ice cream truck. I do apologise to anyone who actually watches these videos the whole way through and listens to me rambling, but I appreciate it. I appreciate the likes, the subscribes, and just the views. Honestly, I just appreciate the views. So, this is what's happening here. It's cooking really well. This is what's happening here. We've got a nice, smooth, milky sauce. So, we're getting somewhere. So to this, I'm going to add 1 tomato condensed tomato soup and 1 diced tomatoes. And I'm just going to grab a bit of water and rinse this out. And just make sure you get all that extra sauce, dump it in there, and get rid of your rubbish. Those are sharp, those are dangerous, don't leave them on your bench while you're continuing to cook. Don't forget, if you've got your heat on, don't stop stirring your milk. Because I kind of did forget. I did stop stirring it. This is starting to thicken again, so I probably will add some more milk. There is a potential for me to get 2 lasagnas out of this mix, just because I am making a fair amount. There is tons of sauce, there is tons of mince, and I don't mind because I will freeze it. This is actually a really good meal prep meal. Freeze is super easy. Get it out the night before and have it for breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever. It's so easy. This is really thickening again. So I'm going to add some more milk. So currently we're at 2.5 cups. And it's a bit better. But it will probably thicken more as well, again. So just keep an eye on your mince as well. Try and break up those big chunks if there's any still. Pork mince, I've noticed, is such a pain for keeping big chunks. But that also comes with it not being completely defrosted when I started. Yeah. Just 1 minute. To these, additionally, I'm going to add a little garlic powder and onion powder. Usually, instead of fresh onion, I add dried onion. However, I currently have none, so that's fine. I'll also add a little salt, a little pepper, and probably some more oregano as well. Not going to bother taking the lid off for this one, just because I don't want to add too much. Just a generous little shake of each. And I'm going to turn the heat off, just off. I'm going to leave it on the hot plate, but the heat's off. Just turn the mince down. I'm going to add more milk because this is too thick, because I've still got to add That was just under 1 cup. So we're at 3.5 cups, I think. Because I am going to add cheese, I don't want it too thick. So I'm just going to add my very finely diced onion now to the white sauce. And yeah, I am having to clean up after myself because my kitchen's too small for this. So, my salt. Because there is so much in this, it might take a hot minute to get the flavour right. I might even add a little parsley today, just for the fun of it. Just a tad. Remembering to still stir your mince. I really do appreciate anyone who does watch this video the whole way through, because it's going to be a hot, it's going to be